Let's go. You lead the way. Where are we headed? Towards a net zero future, of course. Cleaner water, more electricity, a sustainable society. That's the destination we've set ourselves. This we know. Yes, we know exactly where we're going, but we need to get there quicker. So, let's build on the progress we've already made by working and walking together. With the right partners, tools and ideas, we'll become an unstoppable force. This we know. Right now, there are businesses who are putting technology and sustainability at the heart of everything they do. Brave leaders turning maybes into realities and building something better for everyone. Now is the time to look to the future and reinvent ourselves today, empowering others to do the same tomorrow. Yes, we know what the future holds, and we know how to get there. So, let's take charge of the journey today.
Welcome to our school board meeting.
Namaskar.
Hello.
Hi.
Spiffio, access in any language.
Live, and it's dope. Okay, I'm gonna once when I say live, means your mic is on.
Here we stand between what's wrong and right. We try very best to take away
Okay, your mic is live.
Let them show them love so they can live in harmony.
Mic is going live.
We are the children of the world, and we must stand together. We are children of the world, and we really need each other. We don't know the reasons why. We have to see our children cry. Let us rule the world with love.
West End Primary School Children's Choir. We are the children of the world. Goeiedag, molweni, namaste, assalamu alaikum. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sinovuyo Klaus, an intermediate phase educator at West End Primary. I will be the moderator for the duration of this presentation. We are presenting live from South Africa. Our current time is 25 minutes before 2 in the afternoon. Let me start by welcoming everyone to our presentation. We welcome you from all your corners of the world, where we share our best practices with the rest of the world. Firstly, I would like to introduce and welcome our three speakers. Our first speaker, who is also our principal, Mr. Clyde Harris. Our second speaker, Mrs. Rosalia Davidos. And our third speaker, Ms. Tamsin de Klerk. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please allow us to take you on a journey around West End Primary, our home. West End Primary in Mitchells Plain, South Africa is situated in the heart of the Cape Flats in the Western Cape.
But your mic is.
This area is renowned for the challenging circumstances of the community due to poverty, unemployment, gangsterism, and substance abuse. Having opened its doors in 1981, West End Primary has taught students of color throughout its history and has felt the weight of the country's struggle against the legacy of apartheid. One of the school's teachers at that time was arrested and incarcerated on Robben Island with Nelson Mandela. Most of its students come from families that were directly impacted by the policies imposed during apartheid, and to this day, the legacy of apartheid has continued to affect the community that the school serves. The school has a vast number of projects that aim to support the not only at school, but at home as well. The range of initiatives the school has launched has sought to challenge students to dream beyond their individual circumstance and become passionate in their endeavors. The staff noted they could do this through the power of extracurricular and extramural activities. The past years, the school has produced a number of learners who've excelled in sports, receiving both provincial and national colors, and academic achievements. They have become published authors and gained leadership skills. Over time, the bonds created helped improve learners' attitudes towards themselves and their studies, allowing our learners to build their self-confidence. In a nutshell, that is who we are. How did we get here, you might wonder? We followed the 5 key stages which will be discussed by our speakers. Our speakers will touch on these 5 stages: recruitment, relationships, opportunity, environment, and last, values. Please remember that you will get an opportunity to ask questions at the end of this presentation, and you can use the hashtag WorldEduWeek. Allow me to introduce my first speaker. Our first speaker is none other than our very own principal, Mr. Clyde Harris. Fun fact, Mr. Harris joined West End in 2010, and he was one of the youngest principals in the district. He has been at the helm of the transformation of our school and community. Mr. Harris is a member of the Progressive Principals Association. He is currently serving as the chairman of the district's principals forum. Mr. Harris has received numerous awards, and one of these is an award for excellence in primary school leadership that he was awarded by the Metro South Education District. Under his leadership, we have achieved so much as a school. We have been awarded grade 3 and grade 6 literacy awards. We have won numerous competitions in both the arts and, of course, in academics. This stems from the type of leader that Mr. Harris is. He affords everyone the opportunity to reach their full potential. Mr. Harris believes that every child is gifted, and no matter what adversity they are facing, they have the power to reach their full potential. Ladies and gentlemen, I now hand over to Mr. Clyde Harris.
Thank you, Snowy. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me start immediately with our first step towards where are we now and where did we come from. Our first steps started, obviously, as Snowy indicated to you, with recruitment. Now, when we speak about recruitment, 20 years ago, the first thing that we as a staff, as teachers, we have done, we've changed the Oxford Dictionary, we've taken out the word principal and changed it completely from a pronoun into a collective noun. And then immediately allow each and every staff member, each and every teacher to form part of being a leader here at the school, using their own situations and their inherent talents they are bringing to the school. They were enabling us, the whole team, to each one lead their own project, something which is were personal, which they love to do, which are their inherited talents. So yes, we value the appointment of teachers at our school as the most precious resource at the school. Your qualification was not good enough. You had to come to the school and walk the proverbial extra mile. Come and serve the community. There's no other reason to come in here and be a teacher. You know what the circumstances of our community is. You know what the circumstances of our learners, where they are coming from and what they experience, these adverse circumstances. So complaining was not part of the game. You will come in here and bring opportunities, create opportunities for our learners. It's one of these talents and a love of one of my teachers who loved doing scuba diving that enabled a few learners of ours to go and do scuba diving themselves. They would have never felt that opportunity. And the lessons that they were learning from going with the teacher and doing that. Yes, our teachers are the proverbial water hole in the desert for our community and for our learners. We, as teachers, we give every learner a fighting chance here in life. And how do we do that? Something that we are coining here, learn through your own experiences. So we take learners out of the class, inside of the class, outside of the class, outside of the school on expeditions where they can actually experience and learn through their own experience. Not so long ago, 2010, the child sitting next to me on the bus en route to another district to play a rugby game, and looking out through the window, the child would come to me, "Sir, is this the rich side of the world? Because this is the first time he saw a lush green patch of a sizable grass on the school field." And that really, in a nutshell, told me the learners were only limited to their community, to their households because of poverty. So that has given the school an opportunity to take our learners. Every year, our learners go on 4 different expeditions to enrich their experiences. Western teachers are truly providing an opportunity to our learners to dream beyond their circumstances. So that in a nutshell is how We're coining our recruitment and selection processes. Secondly, in terms of relationships, now it is very important how we relate to our community. We cannot try to do something and cannot get the recognition from the people in our community. Our community, our school must be relevant. Even during school holidays, we are relevant. We keep in touch with our learners and with our community. During COVID, we were taking a forefront opportunity in creating opportunities for our community and our learners to educate them in terms of health and safety standards that needs to apply and to make them during COVID to know exactly what we can do, what we cannot do. So it is important to build that relationship. And how do we get it right? Firstly, we recognize the people in our community, especially the elderly. They are many times the people that are running the show in the community in a very progressive and positive manner. The volunteers of the community that's working here, walking around, helping our learners getting home safe, because this is a very much crime-infested society, safe from home to school and from school to home. Those book writers in our community, those people who are creating their own feeding scheme, the people that are apartheid activists, people that are authors here in the community, those people, everybody that feels that they are making a contribution to our community, we are recognizing them. Either by having functions where we say thank you to the elderly in the community once a year, or include the volunteers in the society in our graduation programs and giving them accolades for the work that they are doing. We are truly an inclusive school that include the vision of the community and the needs of our learners. And by doing so, West End is actually a school of choice because we value the respect that we have for people. In the true sense of the word, West End is a school that truly overcome adversity through building relationships, through the respect that we have for people. Furthermore, I want to hand back to the moderator so that we can further continue. Thank you, Snowy.
Thank you, Mr. Harris, for that fruitful and insightful presentation. You take me back to my interview at West End many years ago when I was asked, what do you bring to the table besides your qualification? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our next guest speaker. This person is an educator, and she is one of our ex-learners at West End. This educator is now a qualified foundation phase teacher at our school, Mrs. Rosalia Davidos. Mrs. Rosalia Davidos started at West End as a grade R educator, and after getting a qualification from the University of South Africa, she joined the grade 2 team. She specializes in mathematics and life skills. Mrs. Davidos is involved in a number of projects such as the Box of Hope, the Guardian Project, the Sanitary Drive, Wellness and Health, just to name a few. Mrs. Davidos is a vibrant and energetic young teacher. She is passionate about helping the needy and bringing dignity to our children. Allow me to hand over to Mrs. Davidos.
Good day, all. I am Rosalia Davidos, and just as Senior Boyo mentioned, how did we get here? I'll take you through an incredible journey outlining what makes our school environment, West End Primary, a unique one. Our environment is comprised of 4 aspects, which are the school, the classroom, the community, and the home. At Western Primary, we are a family that shares one goal, one vision, and one value system. We believe that the environment should be conducive to the child holistically. We have made many enhancements to our schools, such as building a few new classrooms so that we can accommodate more learners from our community. We have also created a dignified space where learners can sit back, relax, and enjoy a home healthy meal every day in our lunchroom, which was previously known as our feeding scheme. Additionally, our learner safety is of utmost importance. Therefore, cameras has been installed throughout the school to ensure the safety of each staff member and each and every learner. All learner ablution facilities are managed by community members. And like our principal mentioned, our community members are the learners' parents of our school, their guardians, and their grandparents. This is also to ensure safety of our learners. We pride ourselves in the cleanliness of our school. Therefore, we are proud to say that we are a litter-free school and a graffiti-free school. The school has an ethos of an open door policy where staff, learners, and even our community can come to us anytime for assistance, whether it be something to eat, whether it be a sanitary towel, or whether it just be a shoulder to lean on. We are there for them and they are there for us. We also have a vegetable garden that teaches our learners skills such as planting, growing their own food. As the saying goes, give a man a fish and feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and feed him for a lifetime. Our second aspect is the classroom, where our learners find themselves daily. So all staff members, and when I say all staff members, it's the teachers and it's the non-teaching staff. We strive towards creating a classroom environment that is not just educational, but colorful, warm, and caters to each and every child's need. We also strive for that it feels like home away from home. We have them actively involved in all our activities, and they take initiative and at times help our principal decide on excursions. Our third aspect is our community, the people who stands behind us no matter what and supports us through everything. Our community, they play a fundamental role in contributing to our school success. We strive as far as possible to create opportunities for our community. Our principal mentioned previously the walking bus. The walking bus are parents from the learners in our school. That ensures the safety of our learners coming to school and leaving school in the morning. We also have literacy programs where we help learners who are struggling to read and write. We teach parents how to assist them at home through the WordWorks program. Our fourth and last aspect, the aspect called home. Home is seen as an extension of school and vice versa. That is why we also take a family approach. As per Yuri Bronfenbrenner outlines in his ecological system theory, the child's interaction with their surroundings directly impacts their development. We strive to reinforce this with several endeavors to positively stimulate the child's microcosm. Therefore, we have initiated the Box of Hope project. This was initiated in the year 2019, September 2019. With teachers and our community members, we opened our hearts and sowed into the lives of our less fortunate learners. That year we managed to bless over 70 families. We took our cars, we drove in the community. We went into their homes where we dropped off parcels of toiletries, clothes, toys, and the list goes on. That day, all of us, the entire school, we felt all sorts of emotions that day. From the Box of Hope project, the Guardian project stemmed. The reason behind this project was to develop a closer relationship with our learners. The project helped us to get to know the learners on a more personal level and help them wherever help was and is required. We also have another project, which is the sanitary drive. We established that our young learners were staying at home too much due to the struggles of menstruation, my apologies, and the lack of resources. This drive aids in reducing absenteeism in this regard and providing the basic needs of our young girls for them to still feel dignified and comfortable. If you do not know West End is all about love, sharing, caring. We are always going the extra mile for our community and our little ones. They are our everything. I want to leave you with a quote that says, it's by Mark Twain, that says, kindness is the language that the blind can see and the deaf can hear. I thank you very much. I will now hand over to Ms. Cross. Thank you.
So everyone can see the way the world should be. Let the children love so they can live.
We have overcome so much. To think that something as little as a sanitary pad to someone's eyes can be something that causes our children to stay at home. It really is amazing to sit there and listen to what West End has achieved. Ms. Rosalia Davido spoke about literacy programs, and it takes me back to a book festival that we had a few days ago, where one of my kids who was struggling to read was inside the school hall collecting books. And he came to me running and he said, Miss Class, I am going to read this paragraph for you. And I said, oh, read it, my baby. And he said, Miss Class, I've been attending those classes. I can read. I am reading. It's amazing. If this is not overcoming adversity, then I don't know what is. Thank you, Mrs. Davidos. Please remember again to send in your questions using the hashtag WorldEduWeek. Allow me to introduce our last speaker, Mrs. Tamsin de Klerk. She's a grade 4 teacher at our school. Ms. de Klerk joined West End in 2019 as a grade 5 teacher. Tamsin is involved in a number of projects. As you can see, we have quite a number of projects at West End Primary. She's involved in the HERD program that is very close to her heart, the Grow Smart project. She's also part of the mini soccer team. Tamsin is passionate about female empowerment. She believes in creating a safe space for the girl child and ensuring that each child is given the opportunity to reach their full potential. I now hand over to Tammy.
A good day to all our viewers from across the world. I will be taking us through our fourth stage of overcoming adversity here at West End Primary, which is opportunity. Now, creating opportunity means that there is a great chance for advancement or progress. And as you've heard before, that at West End, that is our vision, creating opportunity for our community, as we said. And it is a gateway for many success stories, of which we will share a bit later. So who do we want to advance here? We want to advance our learners, our parents, our community members, our staff members, and our stakeholders. And how are we doing this? As Ms. Sinavio Class has just mentioned, we have many, many projects in place, and I'm going to mention a few at the time that we are allowed. First, we have our sport. Now, as teachers, we all know, and we have to be open, and yet we understand that not every child is academically strong, and that's okay, because we have created a platform in the sport and arts departments for our learners to explore, develop, and excel. It allows the learner to feel like they belong and motivates the child to come to school, you know. Around we also have for our gift, and this is also we try to include them and also make them feel part of a team, you know. We then have our girls club, the HERD, which was initiated so that we could create a safe space for our girls, where we could come together and, you know, address heartfelt issues, and not just heartfelt issues, but also talk about the general nitty-gritty of girly things, even for the teachers, where we can come together and talk without judgment. We also from that stand-up gentlemen that we're going to send out into this world and lead. And then we have our school excursions that was touched on, that allows our learners, because at West End, we don't just end, the learning doesn't just end here at our doors. We want to take it out there. So we created an opportunity for our learners to visit places at least once a term, which is 4 times a year, and go to different places like the museums, planetariums, animal parks. We went on beach walks, we went on hikes, and as Mr. Aris have mentioned, we even took some of them scuba diving, which they would have never had the opportunity to do if not for our school and our stakeholders and community members who support us. As we've also mentioned, we are a no-fee school. And then we have our little bookworms who we also cater to, by entering them into academic competitions like the Grow Smart competition, where learners have the opportunity to partake and challenge themselves. And the Grow Smart competition allows us to reshape the future of our learners. It affords them the opportunity to receive bursaries and scholarships throughout their high school careers. And it is also a stepping stone for them and opens a door for when they want to pursue their tertiary studies and educations. And then we have our prefect camp for our future leaders, as we believe that our children are the future of the world. And that is why we invest in them by going on a camp once a year, taking our prefects, and there we do training on conflict management, teamwork, resourcefulness, and just overall leadership skills. And another project that we have, or how we create opportunities for our community, is with our Wi-Fi and computer access. We open it up to the community where they can come into our school, come and sit at a computer, set up their CVs, apply for scholarships, learnerships, job applications at no cost. We do not charge them, it's here to help. And then my colleagues have touched on it already. We have our Grandparent Day, we value so much, and we just have this day where we celebrate them, create an opportunity for them to come back, sit back, relax, and be treated, and we show our appreciation. We had our book festival just this past weekend where people could come, learners from everywhere, not just restricted to our school, to come in. Free books were handed out and you could purchase a book. And then lastly, our vision, creating opportunity for our community. We try our best at West End to create job opportunities. So if there are post vacancies available at our school, we will recruit from using people from the community, and not outside people. And just to mention a few of our success stories, because of the opportunities that we've created here with sport and arts, is Nazim Kar. He's now a successful international rugby player. Kurt Lenkis, he's also a successful international soccer player. And then we have Nasira Tim, who is an international performing artist, all coming from West End Primary. So I want to leave you with this quote by H. Jackson Brown Jr. The most important thing is a missed opportunity. I will now be handing over to Mr. Aris, who will be concluding with our values. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamsin. Thank you, Tamsin. And not only sport people coming from our school, I think it's worth mentioning our own district, our own very own deputy principal was a learner at our school. The local magistrate here in Mitchell's Plain was also an ex-learner of our school. A scientist in NASA is also an ex-learner from our school. To mention a few of those opportunities that we are creating. I think our school is renowned in the community for the opportunities that we are creating for our learners. And it's in that value that we acknowledge the notion that they say that every bird think that his or her eggs are the whitest. All families think that their children are the best and the prettiest. Western Primary think that each and every child here at our school is worthwhile and worth it to do and create something. If it's not academically, it must be in sport or other talents, painting, music, the drama, writing books. Those are the opportunities that we are creating to our learners. And because of that, creating of opportunities for our learners, that value has fostered and has went into the heart of our community, where they will be telling us, my children was in the school, sir. My grandchildren are in this school, and their children were also in the school. The community truly thinks that this school is their school. And this is what it's all about in terms of our value, is to become a pure community school. The success of our school depends on our relationship that we are having with our parents and with our community. Our community, where they're coming from, their legacy will continue here in our lessons. We will tell our learners what this is all about. We will value our history, where our parents and grandparents are coming from. The true values of our school and our community are the same values. We are truly an extension of the values of any household here in our community. And this is an extension of what is happening here at our school, the very same values. It's important to accolade the small successes of our learners, each and every child every year received a certificate, academic or other merit, to accolade and to reinforce positive behavior from our learners. So it's in doing these small things and embrace people values, hard values, that Western Primary is a true choice, a school of choice for our community, and also the voice of the poor child. I thank you very much for that opportunity to do this presentation, as I am just doing a summary of my colleagues and myself, the 5 steps that we have alluded to, and to make sure that we were overcoming adversity, whilst we ensure that we recruit the right people, we use the right people to build renowned relationships, and in doing that, create an environment for learners to prosper, and in the environment, allow them great opportunities to come through that. And it's in those opportunities of expeditionary learning and involvement with our teachers and our staff that we create good and foster family values that will take our community forward. Western Primary, creating opportunities for our community. I thank you.
We try very best to break away from the light, so everyone can see the way the world should be. We live in true love, so they can live in harmony. We are the children.
Thank you, Mr. Addis. Thank you, Mr. Clare, and thank you, Mr. Davidos. I am sitting there, I'm remembering that 2 of our learners that took part in the Grossmark competition went on to win, and one of them is currently doing a 2nd year in Stellenbosch University. That is what adversity, overcoming adversity is about. Had that child not entered that competition, who knows where she would be today. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our first section of our presentation. We will now open up the floor for any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.
Love is where it is. All the messages stand together. We are
What would be your
children
recommendations
of
for
the
other schools
world.
that would like to implement projects such as ours that experience some resistance from the community? How will help understand where they don't get buy-in from the implement projects?
We are the children of the world, and we must stand together. We are children of the world.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So our first question is, what recommendations can you give to other schools who do not have the buy-in from the community? This question will be answered by our principal, Mr. Clyde Harris.
Thank you very much for the question. I think it's important that the ideals that Western Primary has been fostering are not ideals that were fostered in isolation. We do it collective, we influence each other as schools. Many times, the success stories that we are driving at our school is just an extension or altered program that has been done at another school. We watch and learn from what is happening at our sister schools. We support each other, and it's in that notion of helping and supporting each other to create the same vision and direction, and influence each other to provide, learn through our own experiences and share winning experiences, methods that are working at our schools should and can practically work at other schools. We have shown those examples in financial management, how we shared our practices with other schools, and we've seen the results and success stories of other schools that has been following similar programs that we are doing. So it's about the influencing each other and the ability to share and allow other schools also to bless and prosper, include them in our programs and share the winning formula.
Thank you.
Let us rule the world with love.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Unfortunately, because of time, we won't be able to take in any more other questions. It is important to know that all these stages and strategies need teamwork, dedication, and people who share the same vision to make it work. This brings us to the end of our presentation. We would like to start by thanking the T4 team for providing us this platform for us to showcase what we are all about. Thank you to the audience that is watching from all different parts of life. We want to thank you for being a part of our presentation. We want to thank our technical team behind the scenes for ensuring that everything runs smoothly and without any glitches. We extend a vote of thanks to our leader, our principal, Mr. Clyde Harris, and our two speakers, Mrs. de Klerk and Mrs. Davidos. And last but not least, we want to thank our staff and our community for always supporting us and seeing our vision. Before I end off, I would like to leave you with a quote from Thabo Mbeki. It goes, open quote, "Gloom and despondency have never defeated adversity. Trying times need courage and resilience. Our strength as a people is not tested during the best of times." And I close quote. My name is Sinovia Klaas, and I thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Children.